All right, so I'm going to show you how I use Kdenlive to pull some clips. First thing I got to do is grab the video. I've already downloaded the video that we're going to use here. It's in downloads. It's this crazy Austin Bennett video. So when you load a vertical video in, it'll ask you if you want to change the profile. Don't do that. Just leave it at 720p. It makes your life a lot easier. As you can see, the waveform's filling up. It only takes a minute here because it's not super long. And it did a weird thing there. Every once in a while, it'll do that weird thing where you try to drag it on and it won't bring the audio. I have no idea why it does that. Just try a couple times and eventually it fixes it. So I'm going to save myself a little bit of trouble here. Just going to cut this right here using the scissor tool, like to where he starts talking. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then I'll use the arrow to delete the part before he starts talking. I'll drag this to the beginning. Now there's a tool here right by the play buttons. You can't really see it because of the because of the dark theme I'm using, but it's set zone in and set zone out. That basically sets the region that we'll need that later. So we're going to just set the zone in here. So it starts it at the beginning, and then we hit play.
So the district attorney, the judge,
unfortunately, you kind of just have to listen through. If you're putting clips for Twitter, these can't be longer than 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I've already listened to this, so I know that somewhere
this is a scam that's taking
somewhere in here is where I want to cut it.
Taking place, and so
I want to.
This is a scam.
So we'll stop it at where he says this is a scam. You would think you would use the scissors to cut this, right, and create a region, but you don't do that. Zoom in a little bit here, make sure you're at a good spot.
It's a scam.
Yeah, that's a good spot. So you already set the zone in. Now, if you set the zone out, you see this blue line that comes up here? That's the selected zone. So if we wanted to render that out, we would go, instead of full project here, we'd go selected zone. And then I make this easy on myself. I go desktop to back up wherever it is, and I create a folder. It'll be like 20, 22, 3, 17, Bennett. And I'll just call this one. You see the from our last tutorial, the title is there. I'll just call this 01 because it's already in a folder. We know what it is. You go save, you make sure it's selected zone, and then you make sure it's MP4 H.264. The standard quality is fine because Austin Bennett's video wasn't of a high quality. So you go render to file. Now while that's happening, we can take this off the screen. While it's rendering, you can still work. So we'll skip this crap here. He doesn't talk, so we'll go here. And we'll guess that we're going to pull a clip here. We don't know for sure, but it's better to just start the selected zone like right when he starts talking, just in case that's the zone that's where you want to start the zone.
Hey, John, this is extraordinary.
So we don't need to say, hey, John. So because we're pulling for Twitter, we have to do everything we can to make sure that we don't pull a clip over 220. So like stuff like hey, John that starts at the beginning, you just hack that out. So you see I moved the pointer and I changed the selected zone. If we wanted to include hey, John, we'd just go like that.
Hey, John.
But we don't want to include hey, John. So we'll bring this right up to where he starts talking again, use this set zone in, and then hit play.
This is extraordinary. This is extraordinary. I have a right to represent myself, to go pro per. And so this is amazing. And so anyway, I already was going to represent myself.
So let's say you're wondering how far into the clip you are. You can go set zone out, and right above it, it'll show you, okay, I'm 13 seconds into this. And it doesn't matter. Once you set you can change it once you set it. So this is like if I'm like, oh, am I getting close to 2 minutes? I check, and I'll hit select zone, set zone out. You can even do it while it's playing.
I was going pro per. See? And then the DA, then the public defender, totally, I can sit, I opened up a door to be honest with you, now that I'll let everything come out, I knew the public defender wasn't going to represent me. There's a lot of political pressure on the judge and the district attorney to protect Senator Richard Pan. But now, to add to this whole okay.
That's actually pretty funny. We're just going to cut it right here. So you can see it's 59 seconds right there. That's fine. You just want to make sure your selection isn't over 220. So we're just going to go back. We're going to pull up the renderer again. We go render project. Everything's set. You see it's got selected zone. Everything's exactly as it was before, but you don't want to use 01 MP4 because it'll write over it. So you go here, then you go into here and you go 02. You go save. Then you just hit render to file and it'll render that selected zone again. And so to show you kind of like how this, what it's going to look like, basically, we go to backup. I'll open VLC. If you ever want to check your clips, you can do it this way too. You can just click and drag one of them into VLC.
So the district attorney, this is a scam. So
see that, and if you ever need to check your clips and make sure they look good, that's how you do it. And that's it. That's how I pull clips. Mind you, I'm gonna have to go through this whole goddamn video doing that. One thing, if you have to stop in the middle, you can go file, save as. That'll save the session, and I'll just put it in documents. I'll go Bennett, and then it'll remember where you are. It'll remember where the pointer is. And it'll remember your last selection. And I'm going to do that here, actually, because I'm not going to finish this right now. So the reason I'm not going to finish this right now is I wanted to show you, say you want to take all of the segments that you've made and then put them back together to put it like on Facebook or YouTube or something like that in one giant thing. We've only made two, but what I'm going to do here will make sense. So we go File, New. You just go, okay. I don't know. HD 720, 30 frames per second is what we do. I don't know. Other people do other things. It's fine. But for this kind of stuff, we might even be doing too much resolution. So now that we have a new file, we'll go into desktop to back up. And I've got the Bennett clips. I've got both of them. I just click. You can highlight both of them, put them over here. And then I take one. Oh, nope. It was doing that weird thing again. Okay, let's see. So, oops, I fucked up. So we'll grab the Bennett clips, put them in here. We'll grab one, put it here. And then at the end, I like to put a little fade so that it's obvious we edited, because I don't want people to think that we're editing people unfairly. And I put a little fade at the beginning. And then you see at the end here.
This is a scam. This is extraordinary.
You can see we edited there, which is important, I think, even though this is just Austin Bennett. And if you wanted to go render the whole project out after you were done putting them all together in order, you bring this back up. You see how it's selected zone. You just go back to full project and you find a location for it, desktop to back up. And I'll even render it here. I'll just pretend this is all of the clips, right? We'll go Bennett. I'll go 2022-3-17. Bennett full. And then you hit render to file. And it'll render out those two as you've laid them on the timeline. So this way you pull all the clips. That's how I do it, at least. I pull all the clips first for Twitter, and then I just put them all back together using the video editor, and I render it out. I know this is mostly for the Media Wench, but this is going public, and I hope hope this helps other people out if they pull clips, if they're like extremism researchers or whatever. Goodbye.